Dismissive avoidant attachment is often misunderstood as simply being independent. Independence can be healthy. Dismissive avoidance is different. It is a pattern where emotional closeness can feel intrusive, dependence can feel unsafe, and distance can feel like relief. The person may want connection, but when connection asks for vulnerability, reassurance, or emotional presence, their nervous system may treat it like pressure instead of comfort. Attachment patterns describe how people tend to respond to closeness, separation, conflict, and emotional need. They are not fixed personality labels and they are not diagnoses. They are learned relationship strategies. A dismissive avoidant strategy usually protects the person by reducing emotional dependence. The basic message inside the pattern is, I am safer when I do not need too much from anyone. This pattern can form when emotional needs were ignored, minimized, mocked, or treated as inconvenient. A child may learn that asking for comfort does not help, or that being upset makes others pull away. Over time, self-reliance becomes more than a strength. It becomes a survival rule. The person learns to calm themselves by needing less, showing less, and expecting less. In adult relationships, dismissive avoidance often shows up as emotional distancing. The person may enjoy dating at first, especially when things are light, fun, and not too demanding. But as the relationship becomes more serious, they may begin to feel crowded. A weekend together may feel wonderful, but the next day a question like, "Where is this going?" can suddenly make them feel trapped. This shift can confuse partners because the avoidant person may seem warm one moment and distant the next. They may text less, become irritated, focus on flaws, or say they need space without explaining what changed. Inside, the emotional closeness may have activated an alarm. Distance becomes the fastest way to feel regulated again. Deactivation strategies are a key part of dismissive avoidance. These are mental or behavioral moves that turn down attachment feelings. The person may focus on a partner's imperfections, romanticize being single, overwork, become highly private, avoid difficult conversations, or tell themselves they do not care that much. These strategies reduce vulnerability, but they can also reduce intimacy. A dismissive avoidant person may value freedom so strongly that normal relationship needs feel like control. A partner asking for reassurance may sound like criticism. A request to plan the future may feel like a loss of autonomy. A desire for more emotional sharing may feel like an invasion. The partner may only be asking for connection, but the avoidant system hears danger. This does not mean the person has no feelings. Many dismissive avoidant people feel deeply, but they may not recognize, name, or share emotions easily. They may process feelings alone, after a delay, or through action instead of words. Some show love by fixing problems, staying reliable, or giving practical help, while struggling with direct emotional language. Conflict can be especially difficult. When a partner wants to talk things through immediately, the dismissive avoidant person may shut down, leave the room, become logical and cold, or say the issue is not a big deal. This can make the partner feel abandoned. But from the avoidant side, the conversation may feel overwhelming, repetitive, or impossible to win. The cycle often becomes painful. One partner moves closer to get reassurance. The dismissive avoidant partner moves away to feel safe. The first partner feels rejected and tries harder. The avoidant partner feels pressured and withdraws more. Neither person may be trying to hurt the other. They are both trying to regulate fear in opposite directions. It is important to separate boundaries from avoidance. A healthy boundary says, "I need an hour to calm down, and then I will come back to discuss this." Avoidance says, "I do not want to talk about it," and never returns. A boundary protects the relationship while protecting the self. Avoidance protects the self by leaving the relationship uncertain. Dismissive avoidance can also appear in friendships and family relationships. A person may disappear when conversations become emotional, avoid asking for help, minimize birthdays or rituals, or feel uncomfortable when others depend on them. They may be seen as low maintenance, calm, or detached. Sometimes that calm is genuine. Sometimes it is a learned way of not needing. A common misunderstanding is that dismissive avoidant people always want casual relationships. Some do, but many want lasting love. The difficulty is that the very closeness they want can activate the defenses that push it away. They may miss a partner after leaving, but feel crowded after returning. They may want commitment in theory while feeling tense when commitment becomes real. Another misunderstanding is that the partner can fix the pattern by giving unlimited patience. Patience helps, but it cannot replace responsibility. The dismissive avoidant person has to notice their own distancing moves. They need to learn what happens inside them before they withdraw, criticize, disappear, or emotionally flatten. Without that self-awareness, the partner ends up doing all the emotional labor. Repair begins with naming the moment more honestly. Instead of saying, "You are too needy," the person might say, "I am feeling pressured and I need a little time, but I do not want to disconnect." That sentence changes the relationship. It gives space without abandonment. It also shows the partner that distance is about regulation, not rejection. For partners of dismissive avoidant people, the goal is not to chase harder. Chasing often strengthens the avoidant alarm. A better approach is clear communication, steady boundaries, and watching behavior over promises. You can respect someone's need for space while still asking for consistency, repair, and emotional responsibility. Their attachment pattern explains the behavior, but it does not erase the impact. For the dismissive avoidant person, growth often starts with small doses of vulnerability. Share one feeling before disappearing. Stay in a conversation for 5 more minutes. Ask for help with something minor. Notice the urge to find flaws after closeness. These small practices teach the nervous system that connection does not always mean losing freedom. Healthy independence is still valuable. The aim is not to become clingy or constantly available. The aim is to stay connected without feeling swallowed. A secure relationship has both closeness and space. It allows two people to be separate individuals while still showing up emotionally. For a dismissive avoidant person, that balance can feel unfamiliar, but it can be learned. Dismissive avoidant attachment is not a villain label. It is a protective strategy that may have made sense in an earlier environment. The problem is that old protection can become present-day distance. What once helped someone survive emotionally can later block the intimacy they actually want. Understanding the pattern creates a chance to choose differently. The simplest way to understand dismissive avoidance is this: closeness can trigger a need to escape, even when love is present. The work is learning to pause before escaping, communicate before disappearing, and protect independence without punishing connection. A practical example is saying, "I want to continue this conversation, but I need 20 minutes to calm down," instead of vanishing for 2 days. That small repair tells the partner they still matter. When that happens repeatedly, space stops being a weapon and becomes a healthy part of intimacy.